I don't know, I guess introduce myself a little bit if you guys need that. I don't know what Barb's told you or not, but basically I just am an intern with the Peoria Times, and then we wanted to do a kind of the cybersecurity program and everything. So I'm really glad to be able to talk to two students in it for sure. But if you want to go ahead and both tell me just like your name and your age and grade just to start, so I have it for the story. Whoever wants to go.
Hi, I'm Robert Anderson. I am a senior at Cactus High School and Met Professional Academy. I am 17 years old.
Perfect. All right. How about you?
All right. My name is Andrew Goza, and if you need me to spell that for you, I can. It's spelled very weird.
Yes.
Yeah, G-O-C like cat, Z like zebra, A, G-O-C-Z-A. It's I don't know. Don't ask me why it's pronounced that way.
Yeah.
I'm 18 years old, and I'm a senior at Liberty High School and Met Professional Academy.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Thank you guys. So mostly I just kind of want to hear a little bit about your experience in the cybersecurity program you're in, and just how that's gone for you, how long you've been in it, everything like that. So whoever wants to go first or jump in at any point, feel free.
I'll go first. I've been in technology probably for all 4 years of my high school career, like doing technology classes. I've only recently joined Met. This is my second year here. It's a junior and senior course, and it's by far one of the most in-depth and most professional based technology education that I've ever gotten or I've ever seen, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
We go through multiple things down here in the basement. We learn professionalism. So that basically we have a bunch of soft skills that we learn, and also we have our technology-based ones. I'll talk a little bit more about the technology ones than the professionalism ones, but we go through pretty much everything that you would see in a day-to-day life as someone in tech or in the cybersecurity industry.
And really in any industry, resume building, LinkedIn profiles, Twitter pages, everything like positive social footprinting, everything related to professionalism and what that means for trying to get a job or something in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For tech courses, me and Andy have both taken Cisco Intro to Networks, which basically gets you acquainted with how your phone or how devices connect to each other via the internet, and how to configure routers, switches, and wireless access points. So that way you can basically not control in a sense, but basically monitor and adapt and control a network.
Okay.
And then as a second year here, you go through you actually have a choice of what you want to study. We have some programming courses, and we also have like PC courses like PC Pro, where it gets you really well acquainted with a bunch of things that you'll see in the industry, like workstations, how to connect them to the internet, and how to set them up. You also have ethical hacking certifications, which me and Andy are currently both in, where you get really acquainted with the Kali Linux operating system, how to detect and create what is it called?
Exploits.
Yeah, create exploits, and how to properly use them. So that'd be like using TCP tunneling or Wireshark, which are industry standard across the board for a lot of ethical hackers. Mm-hmm. And then your second semester of your first year, you go through both Windows and Linux at the same time, so you become both certified in the Windows 10, 8, and 7, and also Windows server side. And then you also have your Linux certification, which basically covers everything from Red Hat to Ubuntu.
Wow. So it sounds like you're learning a ton of useful skills.
Yes, I would say almost none of it is a waste of time or something we wish we weren't doing. All of this is stuff that we all volunteer to be here. We all love learning about all this, and considering we have our own server room, we have like I think there's probably 15 computers in there that we can do tests on and run our own private network that we can use to create tests and have our personal environment so we don't mess anything up, and it gives us real world experience dealing with servers and routers and everything. We do everything from cable making, so making Ethernet cables, to lock picking, all after we've taken an ethical course, learning ethics in IT, and what that means to be safe and
ethical. Because the last thing people want is teaching a bunch of kids how to hack into certain computers. But we at Met, they make sure to teach us the ethics, the serious trouble and harm that you can cause other people if you're not serious about what you're doing in someone's network.
Yeah. And I've done the same. I've done everything he's done, and he's done everything I've done. So we've taken the same course, but we might go different routes. One of us might do pen testing, one of us might do informational, one of us might do, everyone has their own path they can take. Everyone has their own aspirations they want to be. So it's nice to be able to direct that once you've taken the basics and you have that flooring built for ethics, and you have a little bit of an intro to networking, and you've done cybersecurity, you've done a little bit of everything, you know what you can do, and you know what you want to do.
Yeah.
You can just go build from there.
Yeah, it really sets up the for down here. Your first semester, actually your first year entirely sets you up basically to go in whatever direction you want in your second year. So me and Andy have both chosen to go down the ethical hacking route, which will usually lead to like pen testing and informational security. But we do have different plans on going to college. Like he's going to GCU and I'm going to Embry-Riddle. We're going in two separate directions, and we have different, I would say, outlooks, but we come together and we work on these different projects together. Like right now we're working on a wireless access point project where we go around the old main building down at Peoria High School,
which is where we're located. That's where we have our classes every single day.
Right. We're supposed to document all the wireless access points in the building, do internet speed tests, see what configuration will work the best, gather all the information on how a wireless access point works, and then we're actually putting together a portfolio and a presentation, which we then turn in together. So this includes our resumes, our research, our findings, and our citations. And then we all compile that together and we present it in front of the class. And some kids have actually got to be able to present in front of industry leaders. Some even some presenting in front of our school district superintendent. So you do a lot of things out here that normal schools would not do. Normal schools would not let you go and present to your community, wouldn't let you present to your schools. It's a different wavelength because you're way more able to be creative down here. There isn't a one hard and set path. You're able to make mistakes and you're able to move forward and learn your own way.
Adding on to that, I would say probably about 60% of the things we've done down here is all but either student-led or student-created. We have so much input. It's actually like mind-boggling, just the amount of, I wouldn't say control, but input we can have to a project or to
what we learn on
to what we learn and how we learn it is one of the biggest things. That's
kind of like the big culture shock of Met when you get down. Kids are so used to being put into like a creativity square where they're not allowed to reach out the bounds or rarely able to reach out the bounds. But down here, you're able to express yourself in so many different attributes in the way you learn.
You guys already sound like professionals. I just want to let you know, like you sound, I would hire you immediately.
Thank you.
I don't have the power to do that, but if I could. So have you both always been interested in cybersecurity, or what kind of sparked your interest in the program?
For me, like I said, I've been to multiple technology workshops. I took a lot of technology courses, and I wasn't really happy with what I was getting. And then I originally was slated to go to WestMech, which was just down the way. It's very similar, but opted out of it, and then decided to join Met. They really focus on the entrepreneurial mindset down here, which I really enjoyed, and the whole creativity. The whole creative way you learn down here is completely different than how you would do it in WestMech.
Or even at our home school.
Yeah. So that's what really drawed me towards Met. I remember making the decision of choosing Met or WestMech, and I was 100% certain going to Met. Like just after going to an open house and seeing all the creativity these kids were doing, working with each other from different strands, different walks of life, it was really inspiring, and that's what really got me into Met. I live and breathe down here every single day. I believe the mindset that goes on down here, the whole innovation, the whole entrepreneurial mindset, the communication skills you build, everything down here isn't just a waste. It's not busy work. It's something that
it's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
Right. That's awesome. You sound passionate about it, which is important.
Yeah, and I would say I didn't really take many of those technology classes. I think I took a single engineering class at my home school, but a majority of the classes I took were just your normal core classes, and I just got them all done right away. And I was trying to find something that I could use that would help me, get into college a little bit easier and learn what it would be like to be in college. And that's when I found MET, and I've had I've known our teacher for I think 10, 15 years. So I've known him for a long time. So I mean,
big shout out to our technology instructor Justin Davis. He doesn't get enough shout outs. Man
doesn't give enough credit for the work he does down here.
Yeah, man is literally insane the entire time. He's one of the best teachers we've ever had.
That's fantastic. That's awesome that you guys are getting that experience.
Definitely.
Do you definitely feel, I mean, I kind of already know that you do, but do you feel like you're being prepared for a potential job in cybersecurity?
Oh, absolutely. The soft skills, on top of the hard skills you learn, like I touched on in the beginning, you learn a lot of soft skills. So that would be like presenting, public speaking, resume building, positive footprint building on the internet. All these things, when put in the right context, help build your professionalism and help you get ready for that life in professionalism. And it already gives you a head start, which kids rarely get if they're not in some sort of certain program like we are. Kids
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, make sure you talk a little bit about your mentors, that experience, guest speakers, how some of them come in and done, Hack the Box or the Cyber Patriots, that kind of stuff. You might want to say how that's the business partners have helped you.
Yeah. So MET works really closely with a bunch of local businesses out here in Arizona. A few like American Express, Pubster, which was a startup that we worked really close with, and APS, which is the Arizona Public Services. I would say public service. That's just public services, yeah. But I've personally gone on a job shadow over at APS that was brought to MET Professional Academy, and it really opened my eyes on what the day-to-day was like as someone in technology or in a networking environment. We also have a ton of people come in and share their skills. Just last week, we got to work with a red team penetration tester whose name is Logan. He works over at American Express. He did a meeting over virtual, which he did over Teams, and he taught the entire class how to get into a web-based pen testing, I would say like environment. And he walked us through how to make a login, because the login system was like going through a bunch of cryptography and stuff like that and trying to figure out, what things to decode, what codes to use, how to properly use HTML console ports and stuff like that. So having those experiences firsthand, where you're working with people in industry and giving their input on, here's what you should study in college. Here's some things that I did that really helped me in certifications or knowledge or books to read even. It's invaluable knowledge. Like, you can't put a price on that. It's so useful.
It's not something you can buy or just look up on the internet. It's so different than what anyone that I know or have heard of anywhere has even access to. We're given a mentor at the beginning of the year that we can, get to know and learn how they operate, what their daily life workload is like, and how they get to work and where they work and what their work is like. So building those relationships and adding on to your network, which is one of the things that MET offers, is like building a network and creating I guess you could say, just like a contact of just people that you can call in the industry that you have great partnership with because of the MET and because of the things we do here, that they see that this is very beneficial for, and we're not just some program that just throws you a course and you just learn it and you take a test every week. It's
different than that. There's a lot of layers that you go through that add value to your professional career, as well as yourself as a human being. It sets you up for college as well. The amount of habits that I've built and grown myself just by doing coursework here at MET has been crazy, because you learn to time manage way before you get into college, where that's usually where a lot of people learn, I gotta actually think about when I'm gonna turn stuff in. That's crazy. We're doing that we're doing that right now as juniors and seniors in high school, which will then prepare us for the course and workload of a college level class or the college level classes that we'll be taking. That right there is also pretty invaluable because you already have a step up on the competition. Not only your certifications and your professionalism, but also like time management skills, the habits you build. You're already in that mindset of success.
Yeah, no, you guys, I'm impressed. That's all I have to say. I don't know what public speaking they teach you also, but very impressed. I feel like this has been an easier interview than any other adult I've ever interviewed in my life.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm not just saying that, but it's really true.
I just like talking, honestly.
Well, that's good. I like listening, so it works out. I also wanted to bring up, Barb, you might have to help me a little bit on exactly the name that had to do with the grant.
Yeah, so the ASU grant is for the Virginia Tech cyber warfare range and the simulations that they can do. And so the students can talk a little bit about how that's enhanced what they were already doing in our lab because of that partnership with ASU.
Yeah, if you guys want to tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. We've been working with it for about a week or two now, and it's like if Cyber Patriots and Test Out were to like join together and create a pretty wonderful, like sustainable.
For context, Test Out is the course we use to learn Kali and Windows, and that's where we get our certifications through. So we didn't mention that earlier, but that's what that is. And then Cyber Patriots is a program that we did that I think you do it once a year, and through that you get a separate image it's a worldwide contest that any high school or ROTC or JROTC can do. Even middle schools can do it. They have their own division for middle schools, and you use your skills that you know through penetration testing and through cryptography and knowing through the operating system of Windows and Linux and any separate, even Cisco routing and packet tracer, and then you take a quiz and you do that for about, I think, 2 to 4 rounds. And then if you get like in a certain tier, you can go to like nationals in Maryland. It's a pretty big thing, and it's a lot of fun to try and compete against other cybersecurity students that are also doing the same thing you are doing with similar knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
Around the world.
But back on the Virginia Tech cyber warfare range topic, it's a big combination of where you have these images you can download, and it has 2 separate things. We usually just go through like the process of how to complete a lab. We don't do the assignments and stuff like that. We just want to learn because so basically when you get the image, you can then go through and it's like its own virtual environment. I won't say precise. It's not
sealed.
It's very sealed, yeah. So you can do a bunch of different things that we couldn't be able to do in our lab because we have restrictions from our district. Like we couldn't use Wireshark, which is a packet sniffing like application. So basically,
with great reason. I mean, that's not something you just give to somebody and just throw it at them and then here, have fun. Like, that does not happen.
Yeah, basically how Wireshark works is it goes onto the network and it actually like finds the packets of information that contain like emails, account information, and stuff like and basic communications between routers could be like acknowledgement packets or even email packets like I was talking about earlier, but we're not able to do that on our district side here in our lab, but we're able to do that over through Virginia Tech, and they give you the perfect like circumstances and situations to use them and actually learn something from it. They set it up they set it up so that way you can knock it down in a sense.
Yeah, you throw anything you want at it. If you break it, you can just reset it and it'll go back to what it was before. It's its own sealed environment that you can't break, or you can't destroy the operating system. And if you do, you just restart it. And that's how you learn, is you just throw things at it and you understand what the result was and why the result was, and then how you can change it next time to fit the outcome you were looking for.
And do you feel like that's enhanced? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you feel like that's kind of enhanced your experience? Like that's another, pro to the program in general?
Absolutely, because when it gives you real world situations. It's not as cut and dry. It gives you the freedom to go in multiple different directions. So you can use different exploits that you find, or multiple different exploits. In fact, you can use different exploits on top of each other. It's like stacking cards almost. But it definitely gives you that insight to what it's really like on an ethical hacker side. When we work with our mentors and stuff like that, like Logan, who we were talking about earlier, when he came in and taught the class, me and Andy were already one step ahead because we were using this program beforehand, so we already knew Metasploit, Wireshark, commands, and also through our certifications, we knew how to operate in the Linux operating system. So it's just kind of it's really sharpening our skills. We built the foundation. We already have the rough shape, but now they're sharpening and contouring, I guess.
Adding to the addition that we already had of the knowledge of the operating system and everything that came with it, and the applications and whatever else was included inside that OS.
Okay. So Allison, for a non-technical person, because these guys are super techie, I think what the grant through ASU and the partnership has allowed us to do for students is some of those simulations that we could not set up in our lab and network as a high school. Virginia Tech has already set up, and ASU gave us access to those simulations. So they get to take it to the next level where we weren't able to do that before. So
we were right here, and now we're like up here. Went to the next level.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's fantastic to hear. I think those are kind of most of the questions I have. You answered quite a few of them while you were talking, which is awesome. I do want to ask one more time. You were talking about your plans after high school. If you don't mind me asking, I always hated that question when I was in high school, but it was a scary question to me. But you said one's going to GCU, right? And then
yes, that is me. And then Robert's going to ER, Embry-Riddle.
Okay, awesome. And then you're obviously planning on doing cybersecurity, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Global security and intel study with cyber, and then Andy's going into
IT with emphasis on cyber. Basically the same thing, just different name.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you both graduate in May, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Wow, so exciting.
I know.
Well, you sound like you're on a great path. I'm excited for you.
I sure hope so.
All right. Well, thank you. I just want to thank you again for taking the time to meet with me and sharing your stories. I have to shout you out one more time for your professionalism. I am so impressed. I can't say it enough.
Thank you, Allison.
Yes.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
That means whatever we're learning down here is
working.
Yeah, I hope you have an extra boost of confidence after that, because you should. You sound like you know what you're doing already.
Well, you've been an amazing interviewer. Sorry. Yeah, you've been an amazing interviewer, and this has been a very pleasant experience. So we appreciate all the questions, and we hope
the interest has been nice.
We hope
it'll be nice once you get the story. I'll make sure to have them send it to you. But go ahead, Barb.
I was going to ask a couple things. So I am recording this, and I'll figure out a way to share it with you and send over a link. I had sent you some pictures last week of some of the kids in our programs before masks and everything. But did you want? I have also pictures of these two. I didn't know, since you've interviewed them, would it be preferable to have pictures of Andrew and Robert?
Yes, that would be fantastic. I really appreciate that.
Okay, we'll social distance them and take some pictures in our lab, and I'll send those over then with the link, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Barb, too. I really appreciate all your help with this, and I'm really excited. It will likely come out next week. Don't necessarily hold me to that, because I don't know. But I'm pretty sure next Thursday. So I'll make sure I send it out so you guys can see it, because it's kind of cool. You'll be in the paper. So
awesome. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day, and good luck.
You too. Stay safe. Right?
Bye.
Bye.